The divisional games are in the books. We got conference championship games set for next weekend. But in the latest segment, we gonna talk about protecting your peace in every aspect of life. But we gonna start off with the sports. Y'all know how we get down. Let's get it. All right, peeps. We down to four now. We officially down to four. The games were pretty solid this weekend. It didn't start off the closest, even though the Texans Ravens game, I think went to halftime. I think it was tied at like 10 or something, and the Ravens kind of just pulled away in the second half. But yeah, we're gonna start off with the Ravens Texans game. Um, Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson, man. If he needed anything to prove that he's the MVP, he did it in this game, and I think we all can agree that he'll be the regular season MVP. Um, I still think if they can get to the Super Bowl, it will definitely help his case. But Lamar Jackson did his thing, balled out. They won 34-10 on Saturday. Um, they're gonna be playing the Chiefs next week. It's gonna be interesting. But we'll get to those other games. Packers Niners. Now Packers Niners was a good one. Shout out to the Packers, man. They were right there. They were right there. Um, it was a really good game. It was actually a really good game. The Niners didn't look amazing, but they did enough to pull out the dub, and that's all you could ask for this time of year. Like people could talk about X's and O's and all that stuff, but I feel like this time of year, you just gotta pull out them wins, man. I don't care how good you play or whatever. If you ain't getting the dub, it don't matter. But shout out to the Packers, man. They had a really, really good season, especially starting off really kind of shaky. Last couple months, they definitely did their thing. They balled out. I can't even hate. I can't even hate. And the 49ers move on. The NFC Championship game will be in San Francisco, or was they're in Santa Clara, I believe, in Cali or something like that. I think. I think. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I know people always like moving stadiums and stuff, so don't quote me. But yeah, we got the NFC Championship game. Will be in San Fran. Shout out to the Niners. They did their thing. Sunday, we had the Bucks Lions. Lions came through 31-23. I think this is like the Lions' first like conference championship game in like 20, 30 years or something like that. Um, I will say I like how Jared Goff is playing. Mayfield do a like INT late in the game, which kind of cost them the game at the end there. But Bucks is another team that had a solid run, I think. Especially in that division they were in, where it seemed like everybody just sucked. The Bucks kind of pulled away. Baker Mayfield, I think, had a solid season overall. Mike Evans had a good season overall. They finished the season 9-8. Like I said, they lost this past weekend. But it was solid season for Tampa. Solid season for Tampa. It could obviously they probably wished it wasn't. They weren't 9-8 and literally had to win the division in the last week. But GG's the champ. A good season. The Lions, on the other hand, I am so intrigued. I'm so intrigued by the Lions. I'm probably gonna pick the Lions in this game next week, just because I just want to see them win. I just want to see them get to the Super Bowl. It'd be really cool, just for a team like Detroit that no one probably really expected to get there, and obviously they have a long history of just not coming up and coming up short, and it's good to see them like actually be a good team. Like they're actually a great team, by the way. Um, they have a tough coach. I believe on both sides of the ball, they make plays. Um, Gibbs is a solid back. Goss a really good quarterback. Um, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna be rooting for them next week for sure. It's gonna be in San Fran, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a good game. And then we end off with the Chiefs Bills. The Chiefs first road game, they came through. Um, it definitely it was a duel. It was back and forth, man. That game was back and forth. The Bills kicker ended up missing a kick to tie the game late in the game, which kind of sucks. Josh Allen played fairly well. There was a couple like throws I thought he should have probably made, uh, but nonetheless, I don't know. Is it? I don't know if it's a terrible. I don't think it's a terrible season for the Bills. Yeah, I do remember that they were so close to not even making the playoffs. They ended up making the playoffs. They went on a crazy run the last month or two, and for them getting in, you know what I'm saying, making that a game yesterday, was really good. There was a whole conversation on ESPN this morning about Josh Allen coming up short. I and like he just he hasn't made that he hasn't got that win yet. You know what I'm saying? That signature win. Uh, I think he's a really good quarterback. I just feel like he should be held to the same standards as every other quarterback, and I think he is. And like I said, he's a crazy good QB. Like, should I take him on Dallas in a heartbeat? No offense to Dak, I'm just being honest. But yeah, you can't blame him for that loss. That loss wasn't on him. Like it wasn't like he wasn't the reason for the loss. Um, but good season for the Bills, the Chiefs. Then we going to Baltimore next week. That game's gonna be so lit. I'm so ready for that game next week. uh, but I just really I'm cheering for Ravens Lions to be in the Super Bowl. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I just want to see some new peeps in there. Like I gotta feel it. Maybe I'm really hoping the Ravens get in there more than the Lions. Well, I won't say that. I'm just cheering for Lamar Jackson, but I'm also cheering for the Lions. But I feel like if it's like Lions Ravens, at least for me, I can watch the Super Bowl and be like completely neutral, just cheering for both guys, just hoping for a good game, and somebody's like Lamar needs. I think he needs at least to get to the Super Bowl at minimum. Um, I think the Ravens could be either one of the two teams, whether it's San Fran or the Detroit in the Super Bowl if they get there. I just think Lamar Jackson is just such a weapon, man, and it's hard to stop that dude. It's hard to stop that dude for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I was I was definitely yesterday. I was like watching the games, but I have finally streamed Detroit Become Human, and I had so much fun. Even though I like killed everyone in the game, and either they died or they were depressed by the time the game came to an end. I'm definitely gonna probably do another playthrough of it and try to make some better choices, and um, and see what happens. There's so many different ways you can go about playing that game. I had a lot of fun with that yesterday, though. I did a whole 10-hour stream. It was crazy. Um, but yeah, I had a blast yesterday. But those are the games. Those are the games pretty much for the NFL divisional weekend. Like I said, we're down to four. We're down to four. Um, but yeah, after the break, we're gonna talk about something that's kind of been a topic in my life, or just in general. And I think starting off the year, I know we're like 3 weeks into the year. We're gonna talk about protecting your peace at any means necessary. But we'll talk about that when we get back. Protecting your peace. It's something I think that we all struggle with. Um, as I've gotten older, I will say, I as much as I am very open to, I don't really care about, what you look like, I'm saying, what you believe in, where you're from. I don't care. We can get along, we vibe, I'm good with you. But then there's people who like come in your lives and could be very rude and very disrespectful. Um, I had a little something that happened with someone close to a friend. We've since come to a conclusion that we're good. Like I give this person a chance because I genuinely think this person is a good person. I probably felt like I was a little bit like over emotional, and we all like to joke and play. I mean, my friends, we kind of we're very, let's just say, mean to each other in a friendly way, and 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 usually I could take it for the most part. It does get to me just a tad. Sometimes it's when I'm trying to be serious, and then someone makes a little comment here and there. Um, it could get to me a little bit, but me and that person, we're good. We're good, and we've come to an understanding. Understanding because I genuinely feel like that person is an actual good person. There are other people though that just genuinely just sometimes people just suck as human beings. Like straight up. And cutting people out of your life is something that I know can be very, very hard. Depending on the situation, because every situation is different, whether you've known them for 5 years, 10 years, 5 months, a month, 2 weeks. And it could be very hard. I think this year, I think that's one of my biggest things is protecting my own peace. Having people around me who I genuinely feel good around, genuinely have good vibes, good times with, and not having so much people who irk my nerves or just bring negativity on a constant basis. I won't lie. There's times when I can get very Debbie Downer, I guess. Um I'll say something like maybe from my past or something like that that could be very depressing to a lot of people. I've been trying to work on that as far as like not trying to bring the bad mojo to the people around me. I've been slowly working on that. Um, but I just feel like as much as how hard it is sometimes to cut people off, sometimes you have to. Um, like I said, situation to situation base, it's depends on the situation. For me, if it's like social media or like in a stream, because I recently banned a person from my stream who I just did not like the things that they said to me, to other people. I feel like they come off as very rude and kind of disrespectful. The thing is though, there's the thing about like streaming and context when people are talking, you never know, you're not really hearing their voice, so you don't know uh what it's a word for it. Like you don't know their like inflection, like you just don't know the context, I guess. But it's after a while when you just gotta be like, just rip the band-aid off and just let them go. Like it's like I'm going to sleep well tonight. I really don't care if this person doesn't like me. I could give two shits. Honestly, I just I'm 35 now, and I just don't have the time for people who are just just bring me bad vibes. And I'm very, very open to getting to know people. I'm never gonna just like hate you right off the bat. In case you come in super hot and you're just like just rude, rude, rude to everybody, I don't want you around me. But the little bantering between friends is fine. Like I said, I have a lot of friends who do that. I've been doing that to a lot of my guys friends forever. There's some of my guy friends who I talk to like shit, but I love them like family. Like it's weird. And I've been trying to I've been wanting to stop doing that as much because I don't ever want anyone to feel uncomfortable around me or feel like they can't be themselves. Cuz I think that's when you get the good, like the good genuine people when they could just be themselves around you. And when you get to know people for months or years, whatever, and you get to know them, that you peel back those layers. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's really hard. Um, but once you do, and they're just them, and you accept them for them, and it's just smooth, and there's no beef or there's no animosity. Like you just accept them for who they are. It's nice. It's nice. Like I've had a lot of friends that I've met through like the streaming world who are really quiet. They'll start off, they'll be kind of quiet, they won't talk much. And I always tried to like, you know, I always try to include people in conversations. We're having a conversation about anything. When it's, life or something, gaming or and like we're on a topic. I like to hear everybody's opinions because it's nice because everybody has different perspectives. We're all raised differently. Um, no matter where we came from. We were all raised differently. And I've always I love just trying to, bring it out of them. Because usually a lot of people online, real talk, uh have really like bad anxiety or just aren't as vocal in real life. Um I remember like meeting two of my online friends in person. I remember how nervous I was. Shout out to Robot Giggles and my homegirl Bossy, who are two of my online friends that I have met in person. And they're both a blast and two great humans who I love. I love like family, both of them. I remember when I first met Gigs, I went out to Atlanta a few years back, and I was so nervous. I It was my first time on a plane, first of all, and I wasn't even nervous about the plane ride. The plane ride was nothing. I went from Jersey to Georgia. It was less than 2 hours. It was fine, like for the most part. We had a little. I remember like a little rain on my way back, but it wasn't nothing to the point where I was like completely just afraid. But I remember when I first landed. Airports is a lot, especially with my anxiety, with a lot of people walking around and like just being on a plane. I was a little anxious, a little bit, but it wasn't to the point. I was fine. Everybody was nice. The few people I did kind of interact with throughout the plane ride on at the airport, all that stuff. It was pretty good. And I remember like just going out of the airport and seeing Gigs for the first time. And I had watched her on stream for years. And she just came up and gave me the biggest hug. And I remember sitting in the car with her and I just was like, this is weird. And she kind of said the same thing too. But she's met a lot of people, a lot of online friends and streamers and stuff online already. She's a very outgoing person for sure. Very extroverted. I'm an introvert. And I just remember just kind of we were in a car. We went to go out to eat. We went to go get something to eat, and then it just kind of eased off. Everything just eased off, and it felt like just any old time. We're just chilling in a Discord call or gaming together. And I will say, as I spent the whole weekend with her, and in her house with her husband and dog. It got easier. It got a little easier. I was a little anxious. I met a few people. Also met Tiger Lily, who was super sweet. Uh, but um, it eased off, and it made it a little easier. I hated to leave. I remember the last day I was there. I was like, I really don't want to go home. And I enjoyed the people, and the whole Southern hospitality thing is true. At least for the places we went. We went to me and Gigs. We went to this Chick-fil-A, and there was this old lady there. We were having a whole conversation with. She was super sweet. Um, we were telling her our story, how we had known each other for a few years. It was our first time meeting in person. I had my first plane ride. It was my first time there in Georgia. Um, but yeah, then we met a couple of her friends. I met her sister, who was super nice. Like it was just a good time. Then last year, I had the joy of meeting Bossy. Um, we it wasn't this past Christmas. It was the Christmas before, the Christmas of 2022. Um, we She asked me if I wanted to hang out with her in New York City. So I was nervous, but same kind of thing. She literally got out the car, gave me the biggest hug. It was a little bit much, but she's very extroverted as well, and uh, but it was the same thing, hanging out. Then maybe a few hours in, we were chilling, and it was fine. And we actually met up again. She came up here. She's from Jersey. She came up here for a wedding, and she stopped by. She's like, you wanna go out and get some food and some drinks? It's like, I'll come get you. I got you. I'll pay for you. I was like, sure. Like if you paying, you know what I'm saying? If it's free, it's for me. You know what I'm saying? So no, but her and her brother met her brother for the first time. He was super cool. And we like once again chilling, vibing. Like, and now we're like like both of them are just pretty much my IRL friends. It's no like online friends, like my streamer friends. And I do feel like that about even people that I haven't met in person yet. There's a lot of people like I spend my my days with who I consider just my friends. Like it's not, like my online friends. I know technically like they're in different states or different parts of the world, but I consider them just my family. And back to the original point, I kind of started rambling per usual. I do that a lot. Um, protecting your peace and just keeping the good ones around. Getting to know new people, which is always really hard for certain people. It's hard to kind of, you know, like just you just don't know people's reaction to you. It's weird because like online, I'm pretty good with it. In person, I am such an introvert. Like I have to be introduced to people or know you, or you have to be like a friend of my cousin. I'm not good at just like going up to somebody and just kind of introducing myself. I get really nervous. But so when I tell people I'm an introvert, they kind of be like, "What? You just don't seem like it. You're always nice and you're always laughing and just getting into the conversation." Um, but um, I think that's it. I think that's we're gonna end it there. um, I could talk all day. I know I'd be talking, man. I just be talking. A lot of times I like don't have anybody to talk to, so I feel like this is my kind of way of just kind of just expressing myself. Um, but but yeah, man. Yeah, follow me on all the socials and stuff. Big Mama Steph everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, my Twitch. Like I said, come by the Twitch. It's always a good time. When I do stream, I know my stream schedule doesn't exist. I'm trying to get better with that. Trying to drop some more content. I really want to work on some YouTube and stuff. But uh TikTok is Big Mama Steph underscore and all that stuff. Um but yeah, man. That's pretty much it. I hope everybody has an amazing start to their week. We're like what? This is what the third, fourth week of the year. This is the fourth week. Fourth week. We're already in the fourth week of the year. I feel like this year's kind of flying. Like this month's almost over. We still have another whole week in the month, which is kind of crazy. So, um, but yeah, man, we just gonna end it. We love your faces. Stay beautiful. See you in the next one. Remember to drink your water. Check out a homie, and remember you're loved. Peace.